Hello viewers. Bhavini has organized Swachhata Pakwada from 16th to 26th February 2021. As part of the program, we welcome Dr. K.P. Sahana, Medical Officer Bhavini, Kalpakam, a unit of Department of Atomic Energy, to present a lecture program to enlighten and educate us to overcome the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you.
My today's topic is long-term management of COVID-19 by proper waste management and hygiene methodology. I am going to tell more about the hygiene methodology which you are already practicing. It is not a very big rocket science. Whatever we have been following since ages, which we were not practicing in the recent past. So this COVID-19 taught us to go back to those days. So in brief, I will explain everything. In January 2020, WHO declared the outbreak of COVID-19 to be a public health emergency of international concern. The very first case reported in India was a 20 years old female patient reported at Thrissur Government Hospital in Kerala with the symptoms of sore throat, cough and fever. She gave the history of travel from Wuhan city on 23rd Jan. So 27th she reported to hospital. From 23rd to 26th she was alright. On 27th she reported to hospital and immediately she was isolated and taken the swab test and sent to Pune, and it was confirmed as COVID-19. The first case in Tamil Nadu was a 45 years old male patient from Kanjipuram who travelled from Oman and reported to Rajiv Gandhi Government Hospital with all the symptoms, and he was also diagnosed as COVID-19. And later on what happened you all know, many cases were detected all over India, and it has caused a humanitarian emergency such as COVID-19 pandemic has represented a critical threat to the health, safety, security and well-being of any community or large group of people across the globe. So, a lot of research has been done for reducing the morbidity and mortality. The complex issues that are raised need to be effectively and efficiently tackled. So what we are doing for that, we will know in the next slide. So first we will see the structure of coronavirus. You all are very familiar with this picture. It was going on in the television or your social media. So every day and night you have seen this picture. So it's a very familiar picture of coronavirus. The coronavirus belongs to the class Coronaviridae, and it has four generations, four genera or the four strains, which are alpha, beta, gamma and delta coronavirus. So alpha and beta coronavirus affects mammals, and gamma coronavirus affects avian species, that is birds, and delta coronavirus affects both mammals and avian species. So why this coronavirus is special? It is an mRNA virus. Among all other mRNA viruses, it is the largest and it is spherical in shape with the spike proteins projecting from its surface. So these spike proteins has multifunctional molecular machine that mediates coronavirus to enter into the host cells. Host cells may be human beings or the birds. So it binds with the receptor cells, then it enters into the body, and it affects all the systems in the body. So why this coronavirus has been posing a serious threat since 2002 onwards. So it is started as a severe acute respiratory syndrome called as SARS, that was in 2002, and then MERS, that is Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, and that has caused a lot of deaths in the many parts of the world. So but it was not there in India, and now in 2019 it is called SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19. So it can cause mild to lethal symptoms. Lethal symptoms means death. So health threats from coronavirus are constant and long term. So controlling the spread have important implications for global health and economic stability. So the infection prevention and control is a major concern. So how we are controlling the controlling this infection is very, very important. So limit human to human transmission. So we have taken lot of measures to limit this human to human transmission by avoiding the crowd. Like we have not sent our children to school. We have called minimum staff to the office. We have stopped buses, trains, flights. We have even given the lockdowns. So all this was done to limit the human to human transmission. So reduce secondary infections. So what we have done to reduce secondary infections, as soon as we diagnose the patient with COVID, we have treated them with a course of antibiotic. We have given all the immunity boosters and to limit the secondary infections. Then prevent transmission through amplification and super spreading events. So even after diagnosing, we have isolated the patients. We have quarantined their families, friends, and close relatives, whoever has come in contact with the person who was diagnosed as a COVID-19. So what is the natural history of COVID-19? Any communicable disease will have a natural history like this. It is the life cycle. So life cycle, it's not the life cycle of the organism, it is the life cycle of the disease. So what is the pathogen and the reservoir, portal of exit, the transmission, portal of entry, and susceptible host. For COVID-19, the pathogen is COVID-19 virus, that is coronavirus, and reservoir is unknown, and portal of exit is airway. When you are breathing, it exits from the nasal opening, so from the nose. The transmission is human to human transmission, and portal of entry is airway again, and susceptible host is any individual with a weak immunity or the susceptibility. The persons who are susceptible to get the infection, it will enter the body. So this is the natural history of COVID-19. So why we are so much concerned for the prevention is, it has affected a huge number of population all over the world, and in India, so many of us have lost our kids and kins due to this disease. So all over the world, if you take, it is 111 million cases. I have taken this data some 4 days back. So 62.7 million have recovered and 2.45 million deaths all over the world. In India, if we take, 11 million cases were diagnosed and 10.7 million are recovered, and 156,000 deaths have happened. That is 1,56,000 deaths. What are the standard precautions we have to follow for the prevention of disease? So first of all, it is hand hygiene, respiratory hygiene, social distancing, use of personal protective equipments, sterilization or disinfection, and environmental cleaning. For hand hygiene, so all these precautions you are very familiar, you are already following, but still I want to insist, because the corona has not gone, it is still existing with us. So people should not think that it has gone and they are moving freely and they are not following the precautions. So once again we are insisting to follow all the precautions. So hand hygiene, wash with soap and water frequently. So wherever you find soap and water, you can wash frequently, or at least before eating, after eating, or after going to toilet, or before cooking, or before after washing the vessels. So like that you have to keep washing your hands. So use hand sanitizer if washing is not possible. Why we have to wash with the soap and water? The hand hygiene is very important because the coronavirus is prone to get stuck to the oily layer on your hand. So you have to remove that oily layer, keep it dry. So use hand sanitizer if washing is not possible. Whenever you are going out for market or you are traveling, when you are not getting soap and water to wash, you can use hand sanitizer. So use moisturizer. You have to use moisturizer on your hands at least 2 to 3 times in a day, because this hand sanitizer contains 60% alcohol. The ideal hand sanitizer should have 60% alcohol. So use moisturizer to prevent the dryness in your hands or your skin. So keep it away from children. Why means I have seen some 2 to 3 cases. Uh, Patients have come with the history of drinking this sanitizer, and if it is more than 2 mouths full, it will cause alcohol poisoning. So you should keep it away from children. Do not use it before eating. So before eating, always you try to wash your hand with soap and water. Don't use sanitizer, because you will be taking food along with the alcohol content which is there in the sanitizer, which is not good for health. So this is a simple hand washing technique. You all are aware. This first you have to wet your hand, then take soap in your hand, palm, thoroughly rub it with your palms, and then go rub your back of hands, and then in between the fingers, that is web spaces, and then the nail beds. Then each finger you have to clean, and this is to clean the creases in your palm, and also you have to wash up to the wrist. So how long you have to wash? You have to wash it for 20 seconds. First you wet your hand, then close the tap, then you have to rub your hand thoroughly and wash it for 20 seconds. How you think that it is 20 seconds? You need not keep a stopwatch or anything. You have to sing happy birthday song. If you sing happy birthday song once, that will be 20 seconds. So that is a very easy method to keep a watch on your time for hand washing. So second precaution what I showed is the social distancing. Why we are following this social distancing or respiratory hygiene? So respiratory hygiene, to follow this, why we have to follow the respiratory hygiene means, when you are coughing or sneezing or talking, you will be releasing this microorganism from your nose. So if it is a small microorganism, it will be spreaded in the air. That is called air transmission. But here this coronavirus being the largest virus of this coronavirus, and it has a little bit a heavy size and weight, it falls within the 3 feet distance. So that is the reason we tell you to close your nose and mouth while talking or when you are coughing or sneezing. So if it is airborne, it will spread through air to the next person. But if it is coronavirus, it will fall within the 3 feet distance. That's why we are worried about all the other items which are near to the person who is having all the symptoms. So this shows why we are keeping the social distancing also. So this droplet transmission, to avoid the droplet transmission, you have to maintain the distance, plus it is 6 feet distance. What is the reason for that? So the standard precaution, so I have told about respiratory hygiene, social distancing, and next is use of PPEs and sterilization or disinfection. Sterilization or disinfection of your house or office is very essential. And environmental cleaning. Always keep the environment clean and tidy to avoid any kind of infections. So use of PPE. Among PPEs, we have face mask, which we all are using regularly, but nobody is using it in a proper manner. So we are very much worried about wearing this face mask over the chin. So face mask should cover nose and mouth. The reason I already told, to prevent the droplet transmission. So 3-layered surgical mask is the ideal one. But if you cannot use 3-layered surgical mask, you can use a cloth mask also. That double-layered cloth mask is also good enough. N95 mask is only for healthcare workers. So washing and reusing, whenever you go from office or market or anywhere, when you go out and come, you have to wash it thoroughly and dry it in sunlight and then use it. So disposal of mask is mainly for the disposable mask which we are using, whether it is surgical mask or N95 mask, which is having a made out of little bit of plastic. So plastic waste has become a global concern, as you all are already aware, to prevent this air pollution and water pollution. So we have to dispose it properly. Either you have to dispose by incineration, or you can directly or you have to collect this mass whatever you have used in a separate cover and hand it over to the waste collector who is coming to your house. So they will dispose according to the guidelines. So this is very important. You should not throw it here and there to cause pollution. So how to use this tissue paper? So if you are not having any cloth mask or surgical mask, you can use your tissue paper to cover your nose when you are coughing or sneezing. So how to use it? You just have to catch it. Catch it means the germs whatever you are releasing from your nose or mouth, you can catch it immediately and bin it. Where it has to be disposed in a proper dustbin, and kill it. Kill it is when you are touching the tissue, you are already, it is in the hand. So immediately after throwing, you have to wash your hands. You should not carry that tissue paper along with you. So management of COVID-19 at home. So this you all of you have done in a very good proper method, because we had very limited cases in Bhavani, and so the entrance of the house, how you manage. So before you reach the house, you have to tell the person who is at home to keep the door open, or if it is not possible, if you are alone at home or you have to open the door with the key, you just have to open the key and immediately go to the bathroom, and do not touch the doorbell. If you are even if you are touching the doorbell, you have to keep it clean, on and off. You have to clean it with the sanitizer. So keep all the things near the door. After entering the house, you have to keep your belongings, whatever you have taken from outside, you have to keep it near the door, and go to washroom to change your clothes and take a bath, or thoroughly clean yourself, and then you can enter the house, rest part of the house. Or going to market, you try to minimize as much as possible, so that you are bringing less infection to your house. So going out to the market, always you go with the mask in a proper position, you cover your nose and mouth, and then after coming back, you have to wash thoroughly. Then you are going to market, you can minimize by doing when you are returning from office, you can buy the things whatever you want, or you plan it accordingly. Whenever you are going out for any other work, you can bring all the things. Once in 10 days or once in a week, you can go to the market. So going to hospital also, you try to minimize as much as possible, because that is the main area where you contract this infection. So unless and until it is very much essential, you should not go to the hospital. And keep the house clean and hygienic. This is also very, very important. It is not only for COVID-19, for any other infections also, you have to keep your house clean and hygienic. After using this face mask, even people have stopped getting this allergic rhinitis, allergic bronchitis, because it is getting filtered. All the allergens are getting filtered in the mask. So we are not seeing much of cases with the allergic rhinitis also. So whatever hygiene practices we are following, it is preventing us from other communicable diseases also. So management of COVID-19 at home by avoiding the visitors. So you have to control your visitors. If we cannot control, at least you tell them to use sanitizer when they are entering the house, or you tell them to wash their feet outside, or you try to avoid. So washing of vegetables and fruits, this we are already following. So vegetables and fruits, because we don't know how, from where they are bringing, how they are bringing, whether anybody is coughed or sneezed on that vegetables and fruits. So you have to wash it thoroughly immediately after buying. So without keeping it, before keeping it in fridge, you have to clean your vegetables and fruits thoroughly, either with the plain water or with salt and a little bit of lemon juice or vinegar you can add, and soak it for some time and then wash it thoroughly and then dry and store it in fridge. So washing of kitchenwares. Kitchenwares already we are washing thoroughly, and you try to use some hot water for cleaning. So washing of clothes. So immediately after coming from our office or market, we are washing our clothes. Ideally, it should be washed with hot water. And washing of hands already I have told. And disinfection of food material means whatever covered material we are getting from the market, we have to sanitize from outside and then open it and put it in the boxes for storage. So management of COVID-19 at office. So first of all, we are greeting the people whom we are visiting by saying namaste, or you try to maintain the distance while greeting without handshaking. So handshaking is avoided all over the world after this COVID-19. So namaste has come into picture. So follow all the protocols of hygiene. So even in office, you have to follow all the protocols of hygiene, like you are wearing mask or social distancing, try to avoid the gatherings, and proper disinfection of the desk, chair, etc. So disinfection of the things whatever you are using in the office should be sanitized or cleaned thoroughly every day. So avoid using of crowded lifts. Lift usage in the, even in the house, we are having so many multi-story buildings where we are using the lifts. So you try to avoid crowded lifts. So you wait for a few seconds and go in the next trip, or after entering the lift also you have to face the wall, not the person directly. And even for using this buttons, you should not press with your finger. You have to use either a stick or pen or whatever you can, which you can throw or sanitize it after usage. So try to minimize usage of files. So including this lecture, it is an e-lecture which is organized to minimize the crowd. So without using the files or without having a gatherings, like avoid, because meetings, trainings and seminars in big groups is avoided. And all digitalization has been done. Even for the usage of the currency, we are using digital mode now. So we try to use less of files and more of electronic media. So how we can prevent? This all of you are aware. Avoid touching men. Avoid men and follow women. So this was sent in most of the social medias. So avoid men means you have to avoid touching your mouth, eyes and nose with your hands. So after touching any other things, like without washing your hand, you should not take your hand near to the mouth, eyes and nose, because to prevent the spread of this virus. So follow women. Follow women means wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water, and O is for obey directives. The directives are the guidelines, whatever is given, you have to follow the directives. So M is move away from crowded places. So don't be in the big gathering for long time, move away from crowded places. E is exercise regularly, and N is never ignore the warning signals. Warning signals are your symptoms of COVID, that is fever, headache, body pain, this throat pain or loose stools or drowsiness or giddiness, or even the discharge from the eyes, that is conjunctivitis. All these are warning signals. As soon as you get these warning signals, you have to immediately report to the doctor and take the opinion. So why we are talking so much about the prevention? To avoid this contracting this disease, because to post COVID-19 sequel, that is post effects of COVID-19 is very very bad. So prevention is better than cure. So it is based on the severity of the disease. That post-COVID effect is based on the severity of the disease. Approximately 10 to 15% of cases will progress to severe disease, and about 5 to 10% will become critically ill. Out of that, very few are going for the lethality. So typically recover from COVID-19 in 2 to 6 weeks. Any patient who is suffering, we will recover in 2 to 6 weeks. For some patients, it may prolong. So 40% of patients will have chronic fatigue symptoms. So typically this people are not infectious during this period of 2 to 6 weeks. They are infectious only for 10 days. So that is a very very important thing we all should understand. So why this uh, that stigma which has caused lot of mental trauma to the patients. So up to 10 days only they are infectious, and after that they are non-infectious. So there is a risk factor for persistence of symptoms are the comorbid conditions. So why this risk factors, like uh, all the symptoms which prolonged for a long time means because of their comorbid conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, mental health conditions, etc. And 40% of people will have chronic fatigue syndrome. Chronic fatigue syndrome is that myalgia, the body pain which continues for quite some time in 40% of the patients. So what are these long-term health problems in the post-COVID period? So the body systems and organs involved are heart, lungs, brain and nervous system, mental health and musculoskeletal system. So what happens to the brain or what happens to the heart? We'll see. The heart, it damages the heart muscles and it can cause heart failure. And lungs, it damages the lung tissue and causes restrictive lung diseases due to fibrosis of the lung tissue. Brain and nervous system, the loss of smelling sense, that is anosmia. When some people they recover immediately after two weeks or 3 weeks, but some it may continue for long time. And consequences of thromboembolic events. So any thromboembolism which can cause even death, that is pulmonary embolism, heart attack or stroke it can cause. And cognitive impairment like memory and concentration. So in brain, if the brain is affected, it will cause the memory problem and the concentration problem in a long run. So mental health, like many patients are affected with this mental health, like they will become more anxious, they will be depressed, or it can cause even post-traumatic stress disorder and sleep disturbance. Mostly because of this suffering, more than the suffering, their mental status during that quarantine period or the time of admission when they are isolated in the hospital away from their family, all these things have caused lot of mental trauma. So musculoskeletal system, the pain in joints and muscles. So pain in joints and muscles will continue for quite some time and then they recover from that. So to avoid all these long-term health problems, we have to take care of, we have to prevent the disease more than suffering. So prevention is always better than cure. So after all this period, this vaccine has come. The COVID-19 vaccine was launched on 16th January 2021. So vaccination is purely on voluntary basis. However, it is advisable to receive the complete course of COVID-19 vaccine for protecting oneself and oneself against the disease, and also to limit the spread of the disease. So if we are taking the vaccine, it is we are preventing the suffering and also to spreading of disease to your family members, friends and relatives. So it is quite safe. It is released only after the clearance of the regulatory bodies about its safety and efficacy. So like any other vaccine, it also has some common side effects. In some individuals, it has caused mild fever, pain at the site of injection, and the body pain. So these two vaccines they have released in India, that is Covishield vaccine and Covaxin vaccine. The Covishield vaccine was taken by maximum number of people, and even for healthcare workers of our hospital, they have given in Sadras hospital. So even I have taken, a very less side effect was there, and even I didn't have any symptom of after taking the vaccine. And second dose I am going to take shortly. So this immunity boosters, immunity is the need of the hour. So the only way to stay away from this virus was by binding a strong wall of immunity around us. So the Indian cuisine is famous for its flavorful blast of spices. These spices are not just rich in flavors but are also high in medicinal value. Each herb has a unique property ranging from healing capability to treating inflammatory diseases by forming a strong guard against any foreign virus intrusion. So you all are aware how this Indian spices have taken a big role in last 1 year. So all of us have taken this jeera, turmeric, cinnamon, clove, pepper. They have made wonders. So but mostly because of these Indian spices, the cases were not up to the expected level in India, I suppose. And the regular yoga, pranayama and meditation. Any health lecture will end up in this regular yoga, pranayama and meditation, because this is the one which is safeguarding all the persons who are on regular exercise, yoga, pranayama and meditation. This is very good to keep your health in a good condition. So health in the year 2020 went for a toss. So regardless, we in this year should solemnly pledge to ensure our good health by doing some physical activity, eating a balanced diet, adequate diet, increasing the intake of water, and by munching the right snack. And by doing all this will make each one of us healthier and saner. So thank you all. Now it is all in your hand to safeguard yourself. I wish you all a very good health. Thank you.